all 3 killed by gunshot.
Lord?
Yes.
Why did I not know this?
I don't know. And I would say most people that rent that mansion, and you can get it on the West Virginia Ways website, and you can rent it, stay in it. It's on Airbnb. I doubt anyone really knows.
Oh, I put it on the front on us. Did you know 3 people were shot here? Just so you know.
Yes.
Welcome. Enjoy the biscuits and gravy. Welcome to Creepalachia. We are getting into some spooky stuff. I mean, what better month to do this than July? I mean, I stay spooky all year, but I can't do that without amazing people like our next guests, which are Pam Huff and Christy McCumbers with Appalachian Ghost Tours.
Hey. Hi.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Thank you for being here. We've already bonded over Alani New. Shout out. Give me that sponsorship. Christy's an addict as
C4.
well. No, she's C4 in it
I've
today.
switched to C4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. Well, thank you all. We'll kind of just go into each of your background at first. Let's start with you, Pam. So give me some background on you, where you grew up, what made you start knowing that there's something else to this beautiful life than what we see?
I grew up in Wyoming County. It doesn't get much more Appalachia than that. Small town called Oceana. And I feel like I was born knowing. From the time that I was old enough to remember, I had a big interest in cryptids, anything to do with paranormal. I was drawn to the spooky stuff. That was always my favorite. I started reading Stephen King books, I think, by the time that I was in 6th grade. It just, I was always drawn to anything supernatural.
Hey, we got that in common.
Yes.
I was reading Stephen King at a young age also.
Heck yeah. The man, the myth. But so in Oceana, typically it's very conservative, but also you do find the occasional person diving into the paranormal world. So what was that like growing up?
Well, honestly, growing up, I mean, it wasn't even really a discussion that was had among friends or anything like that. Everybody would kind of, well, not everybody. There was a few that would read the books that were supernatural horror based, like the Stephen Kings, the Dean Koontz. There was a series out that was preteen based called Dark Forces, and a lot of us read those. But as far as really ghost hunting or getting into looking for paranormal, we didn't. It was an interest, but we didn't know how to go about exploring it. That came later in life.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. When we grow up and figure out, you know what, paying bills suck. I want to do something fun. What's that? Let's find ghosts. I mean, I see the connection. Was you a Goosebumps fan?
I wasn't. Goosebumps was a little after my time. I'm unfortunately a senior citizen and a relic. So.
Oh, Lord, no. Well, Goosebumps made me pee my pants. I mean, it was so intense, and I read it now, and I'm like, it really wasn't. But then they had the Fear Street series that was for older teenagers, and they recently did a series on Netflix based on Fear Street, which is really cool. But anyway, I digress. Christy, what about you?
Well, I grew up in Fett County and was a complete non-believer until about the age of 18. I had a really intense paranormal experience that got me interested in the field. I had just recently got married, moved into a home in Kingston, West Virginia. We was renting the house. The rent was super cheap too. Should have been a red flag.
They paid you to stay there.
Yeah, it should have been a red flag. It was like $200 a month. We go check it out. I got some weird vibes when we checked out the place for the first time, but I thought, I didn't believe in anything like that. So I was just like, oh, it's just my imagination. First time away from home. So I just brushed it off, and we went ahead and signed the lease and rented the house. We lived there about 30 days. And one night My husband's friend was staying all night with us. And our guest room was situated right across the hallway from our bedroom. So we all go to bed, just got in bed. My husband, he's the type, he immediately passed out as soon as his head hit the pillow. And I'm laying there kind of staring at the wall, trying to fall asleep. And I hear my husband's friend across the hall say my name, but he says it with a question mark. He's like, Christy? And I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I roll over and I'm like, what? And he says, never mind. So I'm like, what is going on? So I sat up in bed. And when I sat up in bed and looked toward the hallway, there is a dark, I'm talking dark figure of a woman standing in the doorways, right in the middle of the hallway. And it was facing him when I sat up. Then when I sat up and said, what? It turned very slowly. I can't even explain how eerie it turned to face me. I could not see no face, no eyes, make out nothing, but I could just tell by the outline that it was a woman with long hair and a long dress. And there was something shiny right here on her neck. Well, I froze. I mean, I completely froze stiff, could not move. My first thought was someone has broken to the house. We've got an intruder. And then I realized, oh, wait, it's a woman. And I just was so confused. And about that time, my husband's friend across the hall says, do you see what I see? And I couldn't even answer him. As soon as he said that, it moved and went up our hallway. When it was out of sight, then I was able to, get myself together and start shaking my husband. Wake up, wake up, wake up. He started screaming, wake up, jumps out of bed. He's flipping on all the lights on in the place. We tell him what happens and we go and look up the hall just to make sure it wasn't an intruder. There was nothing. Nothing. No one to be found. And ever since that experience, that's what got me hooked.
How old were you?
I was 18. So 32 years ago.
Wow. How fun. I mean, sorry to have fun with your terrifying experience there, but it just sounds like a lot of fun to me. So at some point in life, do you want to kind of talk about, because when did Appalachian Ghost Tours start to develop or become a thing?
We actually, our very first ghost hunt that we organized and did together was September the 13th of 2024. We have our 1-year anniversary coming up.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, we are celebrating that anniversary by organizing and putting together a paranormal festival in the town of Hinton. So that'll be a lot of fun. But we had met through Haunted Beckley.
Yes.
There was our group of friends. There's 4 of us that are in leadership with Appalachian Ghost Tours. We had went on a ghost hunt with Haunted Beckley that left us disappointed. And we started talking about ways that maybe it could be done better. Well, we ended up being approached by a nonprofit to put something together for a nonprofit in McDowell County for an event they were holding. And we said, sure, why not? So we put that together. We hadn't even named ourselves at that point. We weren't running under a business license, anything like that. We were just a group of friends that thought maybe we could do this. So we had 85 people show up for that, and we were mildly terrified, but we got through it. And a good time was had by all. And after that, we decided, let's take this show on the road. Let's make it official. We got the business license. We got the nonprofit status ourselves. And we've been running strong ever since. Our whole mission is to promote economic development through paranormal tourism. So we do some private events where just our group will go, but most everything we do is open to the public. We try to keep the prices low so that people can afford it in this area, that it's not astronomical. Obviously, everybody wants to go to Trans-Allegheny or Moundsville. but you may pay 50, 60 to up to 100 or more to get to experience that. We've got so many historic places with these haunted stories and lore attached right here in this area. And they're in places that can use that boost to the economy, and the places themselves can use donations for renovations, restoration, things like that. So that's where we have kind of focused and targeted. We'll do the public hunts. We offer food with their hunts every time because, we don't want anyone leaving because they're hungry. And sometimes these places are remote. But we love it. And it benefits the venues that we work with.
What is a typical event? How is it structured?
So typically an event, well, let's just say we have one coming up July 12th in Thurmond.
So excited for that one.
Yes, townwide. Very excited for that as well. It won't be a festival. It's just going to be something we're doing with the town, and we actually have access to 3 buildings that are owned by the town. Of course, anything owned by the Park Service, we can't go inside, but we can sit outside and set up equipment and things for those. But what we will do is scout the place out. We'll make a decision on whether it would be best to break off into small groups and have a leader stay with their group throughout and rotate together. Or like in a case like Thurmond, where it is more spread out, we may put leaders in stationary places because there are a million different possible places that you might want to investigate. So we'll probably spread ourselves through the town, let people make their own decision as to where they would like to go hunt, and we'll have equipment set up for them. We also, one thing we do that's a little different than most of the companies like ours that do the public tours is we do have loaner equipment. We want to attract the newbies, the people that are interested, but they've never done this before. We tell them, come on out, because you know what? We can loan you an EMF meter that you can carry with you. We've got thermal cams. You can carry night vision binoculars, different little things.
REM pods.
Yeah.
Cat balls.
Different things that we'll let them use and carry with them, even throughout the hunt. So
that's awesome. So right now, currently, it's mainly Southern West Virginia based?
For the time being. We've done some things with Virginia with the town of Pocahontas, and we'll definitely be going back there. That's that building was super haunted.
Which building?
Pocahontas Fuel Company building.
Oh.
The administrative offices there. It was something. We got a lot there.
Heck yeah. Is there personal experience for you, Pam? We heard Christy's ordeal. Is there a time that sticks out to you where you were like, okay, that's weird? Or is it
multiple? Shadow people I've seen often. It's honestly gotten to the point where it doesn't even surprise me anymore. I've
sit down, have a beer.
Right. Yeah. It's like, if you keep staying here, I'm going to make you pay rent, but okay. But yeah, I've seen the shadow people, I think, most of my life, that it was just kind of a normal thing. I have seen and had multiple experiences on the hunts with the equipment. We've obviously seen a lot of things that we've caught on film. The Mayberry Mansion in particular is hot.
In the county?
Yes, it gets wild. We've been there multiple times.
So let's solve this. When you say the county, what's that mean to you?
That's McDowell County.
It is. And you're from Wyoming, so you heard it first.
I know all about the free state of McDowell.
Okay. Some people say Wyoming is the county, but we just solved it right here. Resident grew up in Wyoming, just said it was McDowell.
It is McDowell.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, do with that what you will, but it's important information. So Mayberry, what the building there? What is there?
Right now it is the Powerhouse ATV Resort. At one point in time, it was a coal baron's mansion. It sits in Mayberry, way up on top of a hill. It was built by the son of Jenkins Jones, James Elwood Jones, and I think they started construction on that, was it 1899?
I believe so, yeah.
The place is absolutely opulent. It's beautiful. Stained glass windows in the ballroom that were imported from Scotland, teak wood imported from Brazil, which this day and time doesn't seem like a big deal because you can order it online. But in 1899, they're having this stuff imported and brought into Mayberry. It's absolutely beautiful there. However, there has been some tragedy there. We do know that Elwood Jones, the original owner, passed away by the fireplace off of the ballroom playing cards with his doctor. A year later, his daughter Nancy, who was 16, passed away from pneumonia and influenza. At that point in time, the mother did not want to stay there. She really didn't have ties to the coal company. She had no reason to live in this mansion by herself with her husband and her daughter gone. So she gave the mansion back to Pocahontas Fuel Company.
Right.
And she moved, I'm thinking she moved to Baltimore. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Also, I cannot say with certainty that Nancy Jones died inside the home, the daughter. I did find the death certificate, and it does say her place of death was Switchback. So there were no hospitals. If she did not die in the home, it would have had to have been on the grounds somewhere.
Yeah.
And that seems really rude to push her outside in that state. So I'm betting it's in the home.
I love hearing these names, Jenkins Jones, Switchback on this show. This takes me back to my childhood. So thank you.
Oh, well, you're very welcome.
I mean, not, rest in peace to the fallen, but anyway.
Right. Well, yeah. And it gets worse. So they did auction the home off in the 1950s. And it was purchased by Dale Henderson, who at that time had started buying the company stores and running them in that area. He, his wife, Grace, and their daughter, Judy, moved into the home. Judy, for Christmas one year, asked for a baby brother. So they took Judy to an orphanage, and she picked out a baby brother.
Spoiled kid.
Right? But she picked out David. David, they said, was crying so hard, and Judy felt sorry for him, and she wanted to bring him home, so they did.
Right.
Now, his mother was in a tuberculosis ward at that time, so they couldn't legally adopt. Once the mother was released, they found out she's going to live. They did go and talk to the mother, and they said, we've gotten really attached to him. We'd like to keep him. The mother said, you can have him as long as you don't charge me room and board. So at that point, they did adopt David, and he became a Henderson as well. Mr. Dale Henderson did pass away in the home some years later. And when Grace passed, she did not pass in the home, but she did. The home was her residence up until the time of passing. But she had left the home to their daughter, Judy. Judy did not want it. So she asked David if he and his wife and his mother-in-law who lived with them would want the mansion. And they said, sure, because free mansion, right? So they moved in. And I think it was 2 years later. It was 1998, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds right. 1998.
They found all three killed by gunshot.
Lord?
Yes.
Why did I not know this?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know either.
It's a fascinating story, really, and there's a whole debate even today.
Theory.
Yes.
Now you can ride 4-wheelers and
right.
you got the barbecue.
And I would say most people that rent that mansion, and you can get it on the West Virginia Ways website, and you can rent it, stay in it. It's on Airbnb. I doubt anyone really knows.
Oh, I put it on the front on us. Did you know 3 people were shot here? Just so you know.
Yes.
Welcome. Enjoy the biscuits and gravy.
And the bullet holes are still in the walls.
Yeah.
They really are.
Oh, they are.
They really are.
They really are.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have arrows pointing there like, look. I mean, rest in peace.
Right.
I mean, with all due respect, that's a disclaimer for this show. I make jokes. That's why I'm here. Smart people like you all are why who tell people the truth. So here we go. All right. So 3 shotgunned
Yes.
with a shotgun?
Well, no, it was a Tech 9.
A Tech 9.
Yeah, I think it's like a 9mm.
Was that a thing back then?
It was.
Oh.
It was. I don't know much about them myself, but it was a handgun.
Why did I think those didn't come out till like the 80s? I have no idea why.
Oh, well, that was in 1998.
Oh, that was in 98.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not been that long ago.
I missed that whole thing. Wow. I lived here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I moved here in 95 to Welch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure I heard about this in passing. We didn't have Facebook. But man,
Yeah, it was in
that's
the
awful.
newspapers.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's recent.
Yeah, you can absolutely Google it. It's David Henderson, Jeanette Henderson, and Martha Barber
Wow.
were the 3 victims.
How sad. Well, I'm going to delete all those jokes. But anyway, all right. So you all set up an investigation there? How long ago was that?
That was our very first one on September 13th of 2024. Yeah.
Okay. So what time did that start?
You mean like time
Was
of
it in the
day?
evening?
Oh yeah, it was in the evening. We began at around 7 and went till 11 or midnight, something like that.
Yeah. Did anything, stick out to you abnormal than usual?
The lights. We were hooked. In the master suite, which we refer to as Grace's room, because we actually had family of the Hendersons show up to this. And they told us, this was Grace's room. As children, we were not allowed. She was very much a lady of the manor, very classy, very proper. And Cheryl, the cousin, had told us, as kids, we weren't allowed to play up here. Even Grace's children weren't allowed to play upstairs. They were allowed to come up to their bedrooms to go to bed, but playing was to be done downstairs or outside. And she said this was really the first time she had ever gotten to just hang out in that master suite. Well, I do believe she was a trigger, because in Grace's suite, and it hasn't happened since, but there are 3 chandelier-style lights that hang from the ceiling in that room. They're all on one circuit. One switch turns them on and off.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no way that one should go off by itself, but it was going on and off on command.
Is this room available online? Can I look it up?
Yeah, you should be able to.
What should I Google here?
Google Powerhouse ATV Resort, or you can go to the West Virginia Way and get it off of, there it is, first one.
There we go. Powerhouse ATV Lodge and Mansion down. Do they actively promote this stuff, or, is this something that they don't care to be out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, they let you in there, so I'm assuming. Which room is it?
Might be going down a little bit. Keep going. I don't see any bedrooms yet.
Okay. Wow, this thing is gorgeous.
It is absolutely beautiful.
Let's see here. So I thought I saw some rooms of some sort. That's okay. So this is the living room.
That's part of the ballroom there.
Ballroom, dining room.
That's a sitting room.
Yeah, this is incredible. Well, anyway, I don't want to drag the story down, but you can tell by these photos that the place is very classy.
It's absolutely lovely.
Yeah. And then in one of these photos is going to be like a family of 8, and they're sipping PBR and and popping a few Zens. Like, there's some ghosts up in here, boys. Y'all hear that last night? But anyway, all right. Sorry. So the room, that was the first time she'd been in there?
Right. That was the first time that Cheryl had really, the cousin to David Henderson, had ever really spent time in Grace's room, because as kids, they just weren't allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sure she had walked by and looked in, but, as far as being able to come in, plop down on the bed and hang out. But the light was in response to questions. We would say, turn the light on for yes, and it would come on. Sometimes it was one of the chandelier lights. Sometimes it was the light on the bedside table. So that was, can we prove it's not a glitch in electricity? But if it was a really well-timed one because it came on and off in response to questions.
Yeah. Or either way, at least you troubleshooted for him to save him a potential hazard.
Right.
So, yeah. But yeah, no, this place is gorgeous. Is that kind of the only occurrence that night, or how many people showed up?
We had 85 there.
Oh yeah, you said 85
right. There
earlier.
was we had the 4 of us and then a few other friends that came to help out. We were in no way, shape, or form prepared, ready, or expecting 85 people.
Especially for our first time.
Right.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
I came very close to being like the next casualty of that home, but it went really well. Everybody was happy with it, and we decided just to keep going. We've been back there a couple times since. We did our first Halloween. We came back and did Halloween night there. We did Valentine's Day, which was the anniversary of the murders there.
Okay. Oh, it was on Valentine's Day?
Well, the best that we can ascertain. So the last time anyone spoke with them was on the 13th, and it just happened to be Friday the 13th. So, Jeanette had spoken with the man that she is rumored to have been having an affair with, and the one that they convicted of the murders. He was wanting to come up, and she and David told him no because it was Friday the 13th. Jeanette was very superstitious about it. She said, just stay home tonight and we'll get together tomorrow. Now, depending on who you ask, it was well known that Jeanette and Tony Allen were having this affair. It is Tony Allen.
Yes.
It was Tony something.
I'm pretty sure it was Tony Allen.
I think it was.
Yeah.
But it was well known that Jeanette and Tony were having the affair, depending on who you ask. Family members will say, oh, there's no way David knew about that. But in the next breath, they'll say, well, Tony was at the house all the time. So.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Right. I mean.
Okay. Well,
so.
sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, and then there's stories that, basically say that everybody was good with it and had their own little participation role in it. And who knows? We weren't there.
Right.
But anyway, the story is, the way it's documented is that she had spoken with him on the phone, told him not to come because she was superstitious about Friday the 13th, and that he could come the next day. Well, the next day, no one heard from them. Finally, I think it was about midday or early evening on Sunday, the family called the North Fork Fire Department for a well-being check because nobody could reach them. And when they came, they found Martha Barber, the mother-in-law. They found her in the half bathroom downstairs. They found David on the second floor hallway, and they found Jeanette on the stairs. Looked like she was running up toward the attic.
They catch who did it?
Well, they say it was Tony Allen.
But did they ever find him?
The person, yeah. They arrested him. Now, he confessed to the murder originally, but then we found the court documents and read those because we try to dive deep and understand what happened there. And what he said in the court documents was that he had been a dealer for the cartel. Jeanette had been a bookkeeper for the cartel. And now even the family will say she was dealing. Do I know that for sure? No, but that is something I heard from a family member, was that she did sell. Now, they said marijuana. They didn't say anything heavier, but who knows? And who knows if that's even the case. It's been years ago, but he said it was a cartel hit. And he said that he confessed to the murder because he was safer inside the jail than he was out.
Wow.
Plot twist.
It runs very deep. Very interesting story.
First off, the cartel's going to come in the county.
Well. Let me back up here, because in the 1980s, there was a triple homicide in Pocahontas, Virginia.
Rainbow murders?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Which, as no, were they rainbow murders?
No, he's talking about the ones.
I'm talking about the
near
ones with-
Pocahontas County.
Yeah, you're talking
Okay.
about Pocahontas County.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Pocahontas, Virginia.
Two different things.
Yeah. So literally, if you go over Peeled Chestnut Road, and I bet you know where that's at,
Oh, yeah.
from Mayberry, you'll pop out in Pocahontas, Virginia.
Yep. Peeled chestnut and not Elkhorn. Elkhorn's the other one before
Yeah.
you get to,
Elkhorn will take you
And
back
walk.
into Bluefield.
what's the town? Oh, man, this is county stuff. But you go over Elkhorn and you have that little town over there over the
Sky
hillside.
Gusty.
No, that's
No.
on the other side. Oh, man. I'm not, I won't, it's not Landgraf. It's, never mind. Anyways, there was 3 murders in Pocahontas in
Virginia.
the 80s, Virginia. Yeah.
Like
And
1988.
I'm glad I brought that up because I often I'm like, yeah, Pocahontas and the county are the same thing, completely different areas. So,
Right. But they're very similar, though.
yeah. Well, I mean, like
culture-wise.
geographically,
Yeah.
different.
Oh,
areas.
yeah. I mean, you pop over that mountain, you're right there.
Right.
It's a 10-minute drive, literally.
Okay, so Pocahontas County is near Pocahontas.
No. This would be Tazewell County, Virginia.
10 minutes from the Mayberry Mansion,
Yeah.
right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's 10 minutes at Peeled Chestnut. You will pop out. It's hard to say all those P's. Peeled Chestnut, you'll pop out
doing
right
great.
there in Pocahontas,
Yeah.
Virginia.
Oh, I'm ADHDing right now. You know the tunnel right there before you get into Mayberry? They
Yes.
said that if you go in there and you turn the lights out, that someone will get in the back of your car. And it's a
Well,
whole
you know,
thing.
I'm going to go try that.
I mean, yeah, that's what they said. Someone apparently died on that mountain a long time ago. But anyway, all right, 3 murders.
Right, in Pocahontas, Virginia.
Yeah.
And claimed to be cartel related. That was actually pretty well documented.
Mhm.
I think that it was cartel related. They killed a mother, a father, and the son. The son was, I think, an adult son, but with developmental delays and some physical issues as well. And they had hid him in the closet, but they shot the kid too. So they killed that entire family.
Goodness.
The mayor, actually, Ely, Sam, Tim. It was a
remember.
3-letter. I don't remember if it's Sam, Tim, Jim, something. But yeah, but the last name was Ely, but he was actually put on trial for it. He was acquitted, but they blamed the mayor, and it was definitely cartel related. So if that could happen in Little Pocahontas, Virginia,
Just
10 minutes over that
away.
hill.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I remember there was a murder in that area, Skygusty maybe, when I was in high school. But I don't think it was cartel related, but it was drug related. But yeah, man, people just snap and go crazy.
Right.
But that's good to know for context. So is he still alive, Tony?
No, he passed away at CAMC not long ago. It's been a few years,
I
but
think it was like during COVID, wasn't it? Possibly.
Maybe.
Like
Yeah,
around
like
that,
right around that time.
area.
Oh, really?
yeah, it's not been that long ago. He was still in custody. He appealed several times, but never won the appeal, which I can understand because he confessed, but
Yeah, well, there's all kinds of times now. Not this isn't a false confession. It's still evident he had some blood on his hands, regardless of But I wouldn't imagine you would ever confess to something, especially like this, that you had no part in. You know what I mean?
right.
But false confessions are a thing. So
Well, and
that's,
it's like he said, I'm safer locked up inside than I am outside.
That's very interesting. Man, there's some backstory there. Well, if you want to ride an ATV, check out Powerhouse ATV Rentals. There's your commercial. So, all right. So you do that. And then how many events do you all put on a year?
We typically do
At least once a month.
Yeah, at least
Yeah,
once
one
a
every
month.
Mhm.
Sometimes more, just depending on who approaches us, or if we see something that we feel like is a good cause that we want to jump in and help with this, then we'll call up and just say, hey, would you like for us to set this up and do a benefit for you?
Yeah. And it's odd you all are here right now because I see your shirt, Haunt Fest. Let's break the case wide open. Who set this fire?
I promise it wasn't me.
No, much like Billy Joel, we did not start the fire.
No.
Okay.
But
What happened exactly? Because if for those listening, there was a fire at Lake Shawnee
right after we left.
right at
Like
it
2
was
days
it was
after.
like, oh, was it 2 days
Yeah,
after? I
we
thought it
left.
was like a week after.
I think it was Tuesday. Y'all
Yeah.
called and woke me up. I was in a hotel
The
room
event
in
was on
Charleston.
Saturday,
Yeah.
and then the fire happened on a Tuesday night.
right.
Yeah.
What I mean, do we know anything?
I do. I saw Chris that owns Shawnee. I saw him Friday and talked with him a bit. And of course, offered our condolences and help any way that we can. But, he does have campers and things on the land. And he said that there's a big fire pit that was there under that shelter. And he said somebody had pulled a side by side right up beside the fire pit and it ignited because, it's full of gas. And,
It just blew up?
well, I don't know that it blew up so much as it just started burning and then maybe blew up later, but nobody was injured. The pavilion is going to need a lot of work and he is looking for volunteers to help. So if anybody is handy in that way and would like to spend some time at Lake Shawnee, he'd love to have you volunteer.
So it was an accident.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was an accidental thing, but it was, I guess, like most accidents, it was something that could have been avoided if somebody had stopped and thought maybe don't park the gasoline powered vehicle on top of a fire.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure there wasn't no alcoholic beverages involved. So
Couldn't be.
yeah, no, people don't do that. People don't do that, Pam. But
only on days that end in
Yeah.
Y.
yeah. But anyway, well, so is it like restoration work? Is there any really old structures there that
No, the
caught damage?
pavilion.
Okay, good deal.
The pavilion's the only thing that burnt.
I mean,
there's
I
not
hate that anything burnt,
yeah, but of course that was
It was emotional for Chris because he had built that pavilion for his mother when she was still living.
oh, that's awful.
and she passed not long ago.
That
It's very
sucks.
fresh still, even for that. It's been just a couple of years.
Yeah, I'm trying to line up and get him on the show. I shot him a text. I was like, hey, man, very sorry to hear about the fire. Let me know if anything. He texted me back, said thanks. But yeah, that sucks. All right. So, well, tell me about Haunt Fest. Walk me through that. What was the idea behind having that there at Lake Shawnee?
Well, first of all, it's the Lake Shawnee.
Mhm.
Everybody knows Shawnee. It's and we've worked with Chris on other events before.
Mhm.
We've done. We did a benefit there for a young man in our community that has brain cancer and 2 small children. He'd been unable to work, so we did a fundraiser there. That was
Last fall?
Last fall, sometime.
Fall, I think it was.
And of course, I'm from Princeton. I live in Princeton now. I'm not from there, but I know Chris and I know his family. So we just kind of approached Chris with the idea and said, "What would you think about doing this?" Because it could be big, and he agreed and said, "Let's go for it and see what happens." And so we did. I feel like we had a pretty amazing turnout. I'd say there was probably close to at least 2,000 people.
Oh, yeah.
there.
2,000
Easily.
people. Wow.
Yes.
Look at y'all.
It was amazing.
1 year.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
not quite.
Well, almost
a year.
almost 1 year. You got
Almost.
anything planned for the year anniversary?
Yes, we actually are doing the whole festival thing all over again.
In Hinton.
In Hinton, West Virginia. We have 5 haunted locations that we'll be investigating at the end of the night. We're doing the old hospital, the passenger depot, one of our very favorite places to go, Campbell Flanagan Mural Museum.
the train depot.
Yeah. And
Museum?
there was
The warehouse across the
the
street.
warehouse. Yeah, we've got the warehouse,
yeah.
Campbell Flanagan, the train depot, the old hospital, the library. There was a
Yeah.
confirmed suicide in the library, and it's said to be haunted.
Oh, you gotta
we
have
added
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
that should be a hoot. We've got some pretty big name speakers coming in. to speak for the event, well-known TikTokers. And we'll do vendors workshops. We've got some entertainment.
We got
that we're
some
getting
bands
together.
lined up.
Yeah,
don't we?
we'll have music. I'm working on stilt walkers and aerial acrobats. So,
I mean, goodness gracious. That's everything but the kitchen sink.
we'll have that too.
Okay. Yeah, well, you got to wash your hands. Yeah. Well, that sounds like so much fun. Give me some history on Lake Shawnee for people who don't know. Like, a lot of people probably know about the Ferris wheel and they've seen it, maybe little pictures, but I don't think a lot of people know kind of the backstory there. There was a massacre there, right?
There was the Mitchell Clay family, which I did find out I am a direct descendant of the Mitchell Clay family through his daughter, Mary. I did not know that until just a couple of weeks ago. Actually, one of my friends texted me and she was like, "Hey, you know this, right? That's part of their family's descended from them."
Like your seventh cousin was like massacred.
Right.
Pam, did you know that? All right.
Right.
Well, congratulations.
So, well, I don't know if that means that I got a Shawnee
I'm sorry.
curse or if
Revert to disclaimer from earlier. Okay.
Right.
I'm the jokes. All right, go ahead.
But yeah, so 3 children. Actually, Mitchell Clay was out hunting or doing whatever they did in the pioneer days to escape their home for a few days. But he was out hunting. His wife was at home, and I think they had 9 children there. 3 of them were outside working on the farm. I'm not sure exactly what they were doing. And some Shawnee came over and they began to harass. And one of the boys, the Mitchell Clay boys, became mouthy. I don't know if it was Bartley or if it was Ezekiel, but they ended up in a skirmish. And they did kill Tabitha and Bartley Clay there on site. They took
Brutally. Tabitha was stabbed.
multiple
Stabbed to
times.
death.
Now, the mother did see this from the window of the cabin, but she had 6 other smaller children in there with her. And she had to make a decision that no mother would ever want to make. Do I go out here and potentially get myself killed, get the rest of the children killed, or do I take these kids out the back door and run to the nearest neighbor? And that's what she did. And it was, I think, a couple of miles away.
6 miles, I believe.
Yeah.
6 miles.
Wow.
So she had to walk
Neighbor.
with those kids to get them to safety. By the time they returned, of course, Bartley and Tabitha were deceased, and Ezekiel was nowhere to be found. Ezekiel was kidnapped. He was taken to, I think they said that Mitchell Clay finally caught up with them in Chillicothe, Ohio, that they had taken the boy there. Mitchell, of course, came back from his hunting trip. He's informed as to what happened, and he went looking for the child. He did find him in Chillicothe, Ohio.
Goodness, how did you
Unfortunately.
find someone back then?
Right.
I don't know. I have no idea how you would have done that. It's not like you can text him and say, "Hey, where you at?"
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, if GPS goes away,
I'm screwed.
I'm gonna be driving around like Pac-Man without orbs to eat. I'll just be like hitting the wall. Like, where do I go?
I always think about the scene in European Vacation with the roundabout. I'll be driving around Big Ben Parliament. Big Ben.
Exactly. Yes, that's it. That's exactly what's going to happen. All right. So he finds him.
He was unfortunately being burnt at the stake actively when he arrived. It was too late to save him.
Jeez. What kind of timing is that? How long does that take?
I
mean, you don't know these answers to these questions.
From my personal experience.
Yeah. I don't know how it works. I assume they leave. Oh, I don't know. I'd hate to even think about that. Like they leave the body there to burn.
No, what's even more weird is the Shawnee chief allowed him to take
The
his
remains.
son's body
Yeah.
with him. Like, sure, here you go.
Oh, really?
Huh.
It's like, hey, there's coyotes on the way out. Just watch.
Right.
When you go down, Wart Lick, Holler, whatever. Man. Is that, and then, so when did it become an amusement park?
That was I am thinking in the 1920s.
It was in the
could be wrong.
1920s,
I
I
think
believe.
that's when
some weird last name.
Snido.
Yeah, that's it.
Snido.
Yeah.
I don't remember the first name.
Was it Ed? Ed? No, maybe not.
Old man Snido's boy.
Yeah.
Mr. Snido.
Yeah, Mr. Snido was
Um,
like, you know what? We'll go here where that family was massacred, a Ferris wheel.
Right.
Let's do it.
And that, I guess, was kind of how it went. But the park, actually, if you look at it, it was pretty state of the art
Mhm.
for that time. It did have the rides. It had the cement pond. There was the lake where you could also swim, fish, things like that. And what I found very wild, there was a huge structure on site. It's gone now, but there was a bathhouse, and of course, it had a restaurant and things in it. It was also rumored to have a speakeasy, which those are some things that Chris and I talked about trying to grant right to bring back. I would love to see that rebuilt.
Now, what is a speakeasy? Like a bar?
Well, in the 20s, alcohol prohibition was on. So the speakeasy was a place where those who wanted to imbibe a little, but, you can't buy it legally. They were basically secret bars that were hidden within other establishments that only certain clientele would know.
Gotcha. Okay. So, like Cowboy Up, but, for, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Is Cowboy Up still around?
And they're not.
Okay, gotcha.
There is a Dollar General there now.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, that shows you my age. Did you know I'm 40?
I did not. Did you know I just turned 54?
Heck yeah. Don't look a day over 30, Pam.
You will go to hell for lying.
Hey, that's what they
It's one of
say.
them top 10. You don't lie.
Well, all right. So speakeasy, and then well, there's something
Also
about
heard that they had cabins you could rent too, I think.
They did it
For the
one
coal
time.
mining family.
Yeah,
That's the whole point why he built that, was like coal mining was on the rise, in the 20s, and he wanted a nice vacation spot
yeah,
that all these coal mining families could come.
that's nice. Where does the Pepsi truck come into play? Doesn't some kid get hit by something? Tell me
Probably
that
a
story.
Coca-Cola truck, I think,
Or that's-
supposedly.
Or it'd be probably.
all I
Coke.
knew
Some
was
kind
it
of
was
delivery.
a delivery
Yeah.
truck. So there were the swings, that circle around, and the delivery driver had made his delivery. He was backing out of there, and I guess he miscalculated, or they should not have turned the swings on when they did. I don't know where the error came in. What I know is a little girl on the swing hit the truck.
Goodness. So
it killed her.
now Teresa, who came in, she said that she couldn't find evidence of this little girl existing.
Well, I have not found anything on that either, but I honestly haven't dug very deep on that. I kind of took Chris's word for it. He said that, and that is a story that is told kind of well known throughout Mercer County through the local area there. But he said that he did have documentation of that, but I've never asked to see it. So
And is there a swing that's marked there?
yes, there is.
Okay, what's her name?
They say the names Emily and Emma are what's been picked up.
Okay.
Now, as far as knowing her exact name, I do not. And honestly, don't even have any proof that actually happened, but that is the legend. But there is a swing that they say that this happened on, and people will leave gifts. They'll leave stuffed animals. They'll leave trinkets like bracelets, hair bows, things like that.
Okay. Well, how'd that event go? 2,000 people show up and you're like, we didn't get enough hot dogs, or,
Well, we had, I think, about 6 or 7 food trucks.
Yes.
There.
Oh, that's the way to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, so we had about 7 food trucks. We had, I think, over 70 vendors there just doing merchandise and things. We had our speakers and workshops going on all day, along with history tours of the park. And then we did the paranormal investigation from 8 p.m. to midnight. and just kind of let people wander the park and do what they want. If they wanted to come with us and use our equipment, they could. Some of our speakers came, and we had Theron Beyond the Veil. I don't know if you follow her at all. Okay, Theron was there, and she and I kind of took some people and did some things at the Clay Children's grave, and then came down to the swings. We had Spirit Walk Paranormal there helping lead the tours. We had a great time.
That's so cool. Yeah, y'all are really establishing like the paranormal Avengers, it feels like. You know, there's just a lot of really cool people coming together that are somehow getting along and figuring out how to have like-minded ideas. And it's just really cool to...
Well, and it's funny how it's happened because we've all been friends and we've ghost hunted together and we've known each other. We haven't been as close as we've become running this business together for sure. That we've gotten a lot closer. And it's funny because we never even really knew about the different skills that everybody was bringing to the table.
Yes.
Like we have Mark with Mountain State Mysteries. That's one of our, for leadership that has been there from day one. Mark is excellent with the tech. There's things he can do that my 50-year-old self has no clue about. Now, I could teach you to dial a rotary phone, but I cannot do what he does. We've got Rhiannon, who is an excellent researcher. She's great with doing the ads and things like that. Christy's very well organized and helps keep up with everything. Plus, she's got a business background and understands our taxes and stuff like that. And then I've got years of experience doing nonprofit work. So I kind of understood how to do that. And I have done festival planning and event planning before through that nonprofit. So I've been able to kind of jump in and do that side of it. And when you put us all together, it has been a little bit of a force of nature. It's been unreal.
Yeah. So Christy, at these events, you run around and are like, save your receipts, or like,
No.
Okay.
No. I promise I don't do that.
Gotcha.
No, I help lead the investigation.
Okay.
Ghost hunt.
Cool.
That's my main.
But well, and that's for all of us. That's the main thing. It's just as far as the business side of it.
Yeah.
It's like it just
We all offer a little bit.
and never knew it. Never knew that we would have that ability for everybody to pull together. And then we've had like Teresa and Jess that you had on the show. Jess's whole family comes with us. Her husband, one of her sons, Ian. We love Ian. He's a great kid. But they come with us and they help lead, and they're awesome.
They are.
Jess is hilarious.
Oh, she is so funny.
Jess.
I absolutely adore her.
Yeah.
And she will work so hard. She's just one. I can't say enough good about her, about Teresa. Teresa will tear the research up. She's amazing.
So full of information, Teresa.
Excellent storyteller. Yeah, that was a really fun episode. Christy, walk me through your process. Like, how do you lead a tour? Do you just, stare at everyone until everyone, it like feels really awkward, and then you're like, so how's it going?
No, we use a lot of tools. Definitely, like we'll use flashlights. Just your regular Maglite flashlight is also one of my favorite tools to use ghost hunting, because it's one of the things you really, like electronics is great, but it can be, debunked, where some things that, it's legit. Like a flashlight, for example, you have to twist to turn one, twist to turn off. So like, I love using a flashlight during a ghost hunt. We'll ask the spirits, if there's anyone here that would like to communicate with us, and can you give us a sign? Give a little bit of history about the sightings at that location. And, we try to make contact with them.
Now, the flashlight, is it just called the flashlight method?
It's just a Maglite. I don't know. I just called it a flashlight.
Is there some way you set it up to where the contacts are kind of...
Well, in my case, I have a Maglite that's really difficult to turn. Like, it's not loose at all. So, like, when mine turns, something has really physically had to turn my flashlight to turn it on and off.
And you've had contact there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. A big place where I had a lot of flashlight activities at the Price Mansion in Scarborough.
Tell me about
literally my hometown.
Shout out.
It was owned by Dr. what was it? Samuel Price.
Samuel Price.
Samuel
yeah.
Price, yes. And he was a surgeon for the coal mines right there at Scarborough. I think it was the Whipple mines.
Oh, yeah.
Collins maybe owned it or
Yeah,
something.
you got the Whipple Company store.
Yes.
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 Yeah, the
His mansion's
mansion.
not far from
Yeah.
the company store.
Got it.
And anyway, he had performed a lot of surgeries and a lot of people had died in his home. He did on-site work. So it's supposedly really haunted, and it really is. We have had a lot of
We've had
great
a
of
lot
activity
there,
in that.
Have you had an event there?
Yes.
Yeah.
2 events?
Yeah.
So how big is that place?
Oh.
3
It's a lot bigger than it looks, don't it? Ain't it? Yeah.
It's 3 stories and a basement. The basement's really small, but I'm trying to even think of the number of bedrooms, maybe 7, 8 bedrooms.
Yeah, maybe more.
I think 3 or 4 baths. It's a good sized place.
Is it good shape?
Oh,
Oh
yes.
yeah. Brandon Seward has actually, I don't remember the name of his, LandQuest is, I think, the company he owns. He bought it when it was in a state of terrible disrepair. And having seen the before pictures, I am mystified that he has it now in the shape that he does. But he has went in and completely restored it, and it is absolutely stunning now.
Yeah. But yeah, we like to look into the history of all these locations so that we know what kind of questions to ask when we're doing the tours.
Is there a place to get a good hot dog over there? It seemed like I remember. No, it's not Scarborough. It's somewhere else.
You
Shoot.
Skyline.
Skyline.
It's not far
Yeah.
from there. Yep.
Yeah, that's the Hank's Last Stop.
Yes.
They market it as, you know.
Mhm.
It's
Hey,
my stop.
If there's one thing West Virginia can do, it can really promote the fact that someone famous died in their town. So
Right.
anyway, we got something. Hashtag almost heaven. But anyway,
Almost went to heaven.
yeah, almost went to heaven. Yeah. Oh, Hank's in heaven. Yeah.
With all
but-
his rowdy friends.
yeah, exactly. They settled down. Okay, sorry. Okay, we're done. All right. So tell me about another location in Southern West Virginia. What's one, someone may not know about? Like we know about Lake Shawnee. Now Scarborough, that's a good one.
Yeah, not many people know about
Not
that.
many people know about that one. What is it that drew you into doing something at Hinton?
Actually, the Campbell Flanagan Mural Museum got us started with Hinton, and it was Campbell Flanagan.
That's another super great location.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'll look it up here. I'm Googling Campbell
Um,
Flanagan. All right, here we go.
Yeah, so we just we came across it online because we were just looking for somewhere to go. And we thought, well, that's a cool place. So then we called them and we said, hey, can we come do a ghost hunt? And they said, yeah. And so we have worked with them ever since. I do some volunteer docent work with them and go down and lead their actual museum tours once in a while. And we've done, maybe 3 events there.
Three.
And then we're working with the team that runs that the historical society there in Hinton. We're working with them to do this festival, and of course, proceeds from that festival are going to go to benefit and help with restoration of Campbell Flanagan.
Yeah, I love Hinton.
I'm
too.
super excited for this.
I like how you go in, you got the one road going in, and then you turn around, you got the one road going out, and they got that beautiful bridge. And
My grandmother was
yeah.
born in Hinton, so yeah.
shout out Granny.
Yeah.
Is she still alive?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
She passed away in 1995.
Good beans and cornbread.
Yeah.
Does she make beans? Oh,
She actually was born in she was born in Hinton, and then as a teenager they moved to Thurman, West Virginia.
right.
So a lot of my family's from Thurman.
Yeah, Thurman. So tell me about this 14-year poker game.
Have
you heard about this?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The Dunglen Hotel. So, to tell you a little about the Dunglen, that hotel was pretty much built to stick it to Mr. Thurman, I think.
Oh yeah.
Because Thurman ran a dry town. If I'm not mistaken, he was a minister, right?
He was a really strict religious.
Yeah, I don't know if he was.
I'm not sure if he was a minister, but he was
he's super religious.
Yeah, super religious.
Ran a dry town, but he ran a railroad town. So you've got workers there that want the debauchery. They want a party.
Right.
You know, he wouldn't let them. So Dunglen, and I think his wife's maiden name maybe was Dunn, and his last name was Glenn, and that's where the Dunglen came from. But he
clever.
Yes, he comes in and he builds this hotel. Now, this hotel had it all. This hotel had the gambling, the drinking, the
syphilis.
Well, I mean, you could get that there.
Okay, gotcha. It was a thing then.
Right.
It really was.
Yeah.
They did have ladies of the evening. They actually brought fresh girls in on the train every day.
Fresh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, fresh for the Dunglen.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know. I don't know that we can compare them to a summer's eve.
Gotcha. That's the wrong word to use. Okay, summer's eve. All right. Okay.
Fresh meat.
Oh, Lord.
But yes, it was debauchery here. As a matter of fact, that's when Thurman got the reputation of being the Dodge City of the East, because there was so much that went on, and it all came from the Dunglen side. Now, it would carry over into Thurman. I remember reading a story from somebody who said that he arrived in Thurman and stepped off the train onto a dead body because there had been a shootout, like a gunfight, just moments before he arrived to town.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was a wild place. It was
Gangster.
the Wild West there.
Yeah.
But yes, the poker game was the world's longest running poker game. Now, obviously, the players went in and out, but the pot stayed the same. The hotel burned. When did it burn? Was it
the Dunglen?
Yeah.
Oh, it was the 1920s sometime, I think I want to say. Yeah.
Now, you say obviously the players went in it, but I first heard this and I was like, no one sat there for 14 years. This is stupid. But the way you're saying it makes more sense.
They were dedicated.
They just kept it going. Okay.
In the 40s. I can't
remember. I'm for whatever reason.
I get confused with the other hotel, the Lafayette fire too.
We'll
I mean,
look it
the
up
other
real
one
quick.
burnt.
Dunglen Fire. It was 1930.
Oh, okay.
It says July 22nd, 1930, Fayette County's Dunglen Hotel destroyed by arson. And then it has a little 1901 to 1930 year span here. Man, that wasn't open long, was it?
No. But I will tell you, the site of the Dunglen there, they've got a shelter there now by the river.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the only place that I have ever seen a full-bodied apparition that looked as real to me as you do.
Wow. Really? When was this? Tell me about it.
This was about a year ago. And Rhiannon Kennedy, that's part of our leadership crew, she and I were sitting there at the picnic table. Rhiannon's significant other was down on the riverbank fishing, and we had set up a little picnic and we were just hanging out. And of course, we brought our spirit box and we're doing some esties and we're, trying to summon some folks from the Dunglen, and we're getting some hits here and there, but not anything that we feel like is solid evidence.
Right.
It was more just fun,
Sure, yeah.
It's getting toward the edge of dark, and if you've ever been to Thurman, there is only one way in and one way out.
Yeah.
And it's quite a road. There is no reason that anyone should be there in that area without some means of transportation out. So we're sitting there at the shelter. Our car is the only one there, and we see this young man come walking along the riverbank. He's wearing a red baseball cap. He has on a hoodie, baggy jeans. He's carrying an olive bag across his, it's like a shoulder bag.
Mm-hmm.
And he's walking toward us. He's moving kind of funny. It's a little jerky with the movements. And we're looking at each other because we're thinking it's a crackhead. We feel like
sleazy news material.
Right. We feel like we are afraid. Not because we think it's paranormal, but because we think we're about to get stabbed for the $3.50 in change I've got in my purse.
Yeah.
So because we're looking around, there is no vehicle. There is nowhere for this young man to go. there is no reason for him to be there, no way for him to have gotten there or whatever. So it's a little unnerving. And he's walking closer and closer to us. We're both seeing him. We're talking about it. We're trying to figure out what he's doing. And we're feeling like he's not okay because the way he's moving. We think he's high as a kite. And so we let him get closer and closer to us. And Ree looks at me and says, turn your flashlight on because, it's getting darker. So I turned it on and shined it over there and he disappeared. Just disappeared. We looked at each other and took us a couple of minutes to figure it out. And we were sitting there still like, did that really just happen? About the time that Ree's better half came up from the riverbank fishing. And he said, listen, I saw that guy walking by and something just felt off about him. And I was afraid he was going to come over here and bother you. Where did he go? And we're like, well, we can tell you a story about that.
Sure, yeah. Oh, well, I got to hear that.
Oh, no, it's what we said to Shane. We were like, oh, well, let us tell you a story about where he went.
Gotcha. Okay.
He just disappeared. I mean,
gotcha.
Literally was just gone. Not a trace. And like we saw him well enough that I can tell you what he was wearing.
Gonski.
Yeah. Just
new fentanyl. It's pretty crazy.
Right, but I don't think it makes people evaporate.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, you don't know.
Lord.
Yeah.
That's fun.
But I've had a lot of experiences in Thurman myself too, where the families from that area go pretty often. You can literally go next to that coal tower and just stand, be real quiet and listen. You can hear conversations with your own ears. You can hear people like just having conversations around you.
Yeah, Thurman Coal Tower.
Yes,
so this bad boy here.
Very hot spot.
Would you believe I haven't been?
Well, we're going on July 12th. You come right on down.
I want to so bad. I'm freeing up time, y'all. I'm going to dedicate more time to Creepalachia. We're going to make this a thing. And I want to go do stuff like this. But this is beautiful. So is this it today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So is it in pretty good shape?
I mean, about like that. It ain't really in good shape, but it's safe, like to be around.
It won't fall over if you push it.
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to push it. It's pretty solid.
I don't know how much time I'd spend under it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Me and Chaz was under it one night when a train came right up on that track right beside of it, like that close to us, and we were under it. And I was like, oh, so scared something was going to fall from the top and crush us.
I mean, yeah. That's
it was a little too close for comfort.
And to clarify, trains still run through here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Very active.
Was that Amtrak?
Amtrak does, and then you just have your regular cargo
coal trains
and coal,
load and coal.
Okay.
Coal.
So can someone like get off a stop here from a train from Amtrak?
Yeah, the Amtrak there, the depot that is a museum now. That's part of the state park or the national park. Mm-hmm. The depot actually is an active depot. People can board there and get off there.
From New York City to Washington, D.C.
New York City.
New York City.
So is there an Airbnb or something to stay
There's
in?
a couple of Airbnbs around there.
Wow. That would be fun. I mean, it'd be fun to not have, access to snacks and civilization for a little while,
Well, it's probably about a 20-minute, 25-minute drive to.
Well, you could be at Skyline and get you a hot dog in 10 minutes from there.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they DoorDash?
No.
I ain't going. No,
and you got the cold spot. Forgot about the cold spot there.
The cold spot is fabulous.
You're not far from the cold spot.
If someone listening, a hidden gem, I don't know. I don't think this is a tourist attraction. I don't think a lot of people go to this. I mean, a lot of people do that know about it, but I don't think it's heavily marketed, really.
Not the one that's right there in Glen Jean. Now, there is a cold spot up near Dunbar. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a second location in the Charleston area, too, that is, and they are affiliated because at first I thought, well, they have the same name. But then I started looking at it and it does list the different locations.
I think the cold spot is a big location for the Boy Scouts too when they're in town.
Yeah. The Jamboree.
Yes.
All right, y'all. The Bechtel Reserve Is this a bunker? What are we? Let's break it open right here. Have you heard this?
I have heard the theories that there is more to it than just an innocent Boy Scout camp, that there is something.
I've heard like Black Hawks tour the place and look over it and all kinds of different things. But anyway.
I have never witnessed that, but.
It is a military location. Mm-hmm. I think is it training? I don't know. But anyways, that's for a tinfoil hat show down the road.
Well, and if you need a conspiracy theorist for that, I'm right here.
Yeah, we definitely dive pretty deep sometimes. All right. So Thurmond, July 12th. Mm-hmm. How can people get involved? This will release before then.
Okay.
So is it too late to sign up?
No. We have a link for tickets on our Facebook page. You can purchase tickets online that way, or you can pay cash on site. Now, we will have our square there on site to take cards, but we don't know that we're going to have internet.
I do. I checked. Yeah.
Okay.
We can take cards. Absolutely.
Yeah. You got your
QuickBooks at the town hall.
QuickBooks set up? Yes. TurboTax?
Yes.
We doing the whole thing?
I'm prepared.
Okay, good deal.
Just meet us at the town hall at 8 p.m. on the 12th.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. Oh, you start that late?
Yeah, this one we are.
Is it like an all-night thing?
It takes a while to get dark now, you know.
How do y'all do that? I want to do that, but I feel old, but I'm not old. But when I was young, I was like, that's old. And, I want to go to bed.
It's the adrenaline, because normally I'm like that until these events, and I'm like, just like the adrenaline keeps you going.
That's fun.
I can literally
normally
go to bed at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, me too. Normally,
but
yeah,
that's fun. Yeah, see, we're getting ready to shoot a Mothman movie, and our first day we're starting at 1 a.m.
Oh wow!
Oof.
So it's like a 1-to-1 on the first day. So I'm just like, quit being a sissy. Get it done.
Get your Alani's.
Yeah, it's in Bluefield too.
Oh, cool.
So near you. But all right. So y'all heard that. Definitely check out Thurmond. Where else have y'all been? Where are we planning?
We got Coffield Manor coming up in
Manor
August.
in Mullins. We're partnering with them for an event in August.
So we can talk about this.
Okay.
Have you been following the progress?
Yes.
The community drama?
Yes.
Okay. So I feel like she's gotten a bad shake. I don't know her.
She came to Shawnee. We met her there. Actually sit down and did a discussion panel with her about the place. And I can't remember the date. We're going, it's the very
August 20.
It's her closing
26th.
weekend.
Yeah.
We're doing her event. I've got it on my calendar.
What's her name? I don't even know.
I don't either.
Mrs. Coffield Manor.
Mrs. Coffield Manor. Shout out. Well, so, all right, some backstory here. So there's a funeral home that goes out of business in Mullins. Mm-hmm. And I think it went out of business like 2 years ago.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
Ish. Gets purchased by someone who lives out of state. Seems
She's
like
from Massachusetts.
Massachusetts? Okay. Shout out Salem. I just went there. I love it.
Watched your episode.
I want to go to
did you?
I loved it.
Did you like
and your
it?
daughter, and it was great. I loved it.
It was so fun. I mean, I'm telling you, and it really is. I say the devil's Gatlinburg, but like, I mean, it's not really
that.
like you don't have to.
That.
It's family friendly. Like it's not like you go, but it's important for the historical aspect of remembering what happened here and how stupid we can be.
Exactly.
It's not even necessarily a witch thing. They claimed they were witches and hung them from trees thing. Like how crazy we can get. But anyway, so old funeral home gets purchased in West by God, Virginia. And we're a little conservative, which is fine. We're getting ready to do a religion episode because it's so intertwined with the paranormal to me. And I think it's beautiful if it helps someone, and it's great. And it's a whole thing. But anyway, so the community kind of gets upset because of this recent funeral home being transformed into we'll just say a tourist location. I mean, it's touristy, but also it's someone trying to build an idea And these locations do have a lot of history, and there are things worth talking about. And I'm the type that, like, spirits want to talk to. Like, we ain't going to talk to them. We're going to just not photograph. We're not going to act like they're there. I feel like you forget about them if you do that.
Right.
But anyway, the community got a little upset. The town embraced Coffield Manor at the Dogwood Festival, and it was really cool. And then after that, there's a few in the community that kind of raised an uproar.
Right.
So to me, you know, one, what else are you going to do with it? There's not going to be necessarily, I mean, it was a funeral home, and then obviously it didn't have enough business to remain a funeral home. Are you going to turn it into an, you know, what are you going to do with it? So, of course, yeah, arcade. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people are dying to get in. But I'm sorry. But anyway, so I think it's great. But, you know, what do you all, do you have any feelings towards that? I wish anyone luck that starts a business in this state, because it's very, very hard to get the momentum and keep rolling. You know what I mean?
I didn't even know people were upset. They're upset because what?
Facebook. Yes,
it's a Facebook thing.
Facebook warriors came out in full force. They honestly, it was, and I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest. I grew up there. I know them. I know some of these people that were posting on this.
Mm-hmm.
We've met. I've known you since we were in 5th grade.
Why are they upset? I
don't know why they're upset, but it was outrageous, the response, and how vehement they got talking about running them out of business and things like that, because it's something they don't agree with. Now, that's fine. If you don't agree with it, don't go. Don't go. You know,
Sure.
It's that
Right.
simple.
Right.
They would have taken a strip club coming in better than they took this.
I think it would have been close. And to play the paranormal devil's advocate here, so maybe it's because it just recently closed so soon or something like that, because a lot of these places have such history and are very old. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, you going to let it decay first and then,
Oh, absolutely, they would.
you
Yeah.
know?
Absolutely.
rather-
they would.
yeah.
I mean, folks were, I would not be
So
surprised.
they're upset because it was a funeral home, and
I guess.
don't
Well, I mean,
know.
imagine, like, okay, you're in a community and, you know,
It's like their grandma's funeral was
Yeah.
there. That's why they're.
That's funny. We just said grandpa at the same time.
Well, poor dead grandpa.
But yeah. Well, I mean, not, you know, of course, rest in peace, grandpa. But, like, you know, you're driving by a place where Grandpa Larry had his services 2 years ago.
Okay.
Let's just say, for instance. So I imagine there's some emotion there of, like, it's like they take it as you are marketing the death of their loved one or something. Does that make sense?
Right.
It's like you're exploiting the pain of the family.
Right. They're personalizing that and making it, I guess, about, you know, their experience, and they're welcome to do that. But it's not even about that. It's paranormal tourism.
Mhm.
And, you know, here's the thing that I'm going to say is, you can go to the places that my loved ones were buried. You can go to the places where their services were held, or to the places that they passed. And you can sit down and put out your equipment, and you can try to contact them all day long, because if you get them, I want to know what they said.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's me. I mean, she definitely got an unfair shake, but at the
Right.
same time, hashtag marketing,
Right.
you know, that kind of helps her.
Right. There's no
Right.
such thing as bad press.
Yeah. I mean, and now I'm sure you move in a community and you have good intentions, and this is me assuming, I don't know her, but you have good intentions. You want to build this thing. You want the community to embrace you, and then there's some negativity. So I'm sure that's upsetting.
I'm sure that it stings, and I think you've hit the nail on the head with the first part of that sentence. You move into this community. She's not from here.
Sure.
They don't
Yeah.
know her. They're viewing her as
An outsider.
right.
Well, it's the same thing. So roll up in Oceana with a camera
Mhm.
Right. I
and
bet.
not be from Oceana.
Yes.
Right.
You know, because people that roll in there and they make some kind of desperate hopeless opioid documentary, you know, and it's important to talk about opioids, but you can also show the many people in the community that are doing things to battle it, but we rarely see that.
Right.
So people take all this stuff to heart, and it's the same thing with our locations and our culture and anything. So I see it as that, but this is a misinterpretation of that. I mean, she literally is in the community trying to build this thing. So
Right.
we need people, y'all.
Right, we do.
Right.
I don't know if you know, but we do.
We do.
Here's the thing that people don't stop and think about. You know, it's more when you say paranormal tourism and creating economic development, it's more than just that one site. It's more than that one site that is going to see tourism dollars. People are going to go to the Rebel Smokehouse to eat. They're going to go.
It's good too.
Oh gosh, it is so good. It's one of my faves. But they're going to go somewhere there to eat. They're going to stop and visit a local shop while they're there. They're going to buy gas at the local gas station. It's not just this one business that money's going to funnel into. It's going to create economic development for the whole town and possibly the entire county.
Yeah.
If they'll sit down and let it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's getting a little crazy with people just putting up tiny homes and throwing up a banner, you know, Floyd's ATV Lodge, and it gets a little cluttery, and we got to get some zoning going and some things going on. But I'm all about trying to build something. Just don't get, you know, PBR'd up and park your ATV over the fire pit, please.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Please don't.
Yeah.
We've
don't do
come
that.
to learn that is a really bad idea.
Yeah. It's a terrible idea. So y'all are going there when?
August the.
I got it right here.
Okay. Months.
Say 23rd.
I think
It's close
be.
to that.
It may
do
be.
remember
It's,
that.
I know it's her.
It's my
last-
birthday.
Oh,
Yeah. That's what I was.
it's her last weekend that she's.
Now, is she going to live here?
She
Certain
is
amount of time?
going back to Massachusetts for the winter, or well,
August
Fall.
20. I don't have my glasses. Does that say 23rd? I think it does. Right here in this area.
Yes. August
Look at that.
23rd.
There you go.
Y'all, me and you said grandpa at the same time, and I just cold guessed the date because it's my birthday.
Yes, and that is, and we had talked with her about doing like a end of summer kind of thing. Like I said, we always provide you with food. We all have our food handlers cards, and we all like to cook, and we've done a little catering as well. So we're kind of Jacks of or Jills of all trades. And so we had talked about maybe doing like a cookout kind of in the summer thing, get everybody fed.
And it's all
before.
included in the ticket
Yeah,
price.
it's
Like
all
we
in
don't
the-
charge extra for food.
How much is it?
25
$20.
Oh,
20.
20. Yeah, 20.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm thinking
We did
about
20
Shawnee.
Yeah, we did
Okay,
25
sorry.
for Shawnee. We keep the prices low because it's all of it.
Yeah.
We'll take enough to pay for the food that we buy and for our travel expenses. Everything else will go to Coffield.
That's awesome. I mean, you spend more at Arby's
yeah.
Right?
than
You
that.
get to ghost hunt and get fed.
Yeah,
I
you
mean-
get to get possessed.
Yeah.
You get to, you know what I mean? You get to make the community really upset. No, I'm
Get
kidding.
an exorcism
Westboro
done.
Baptist
Oh, yeah. You can go down there, get your Westboro Baptist on. It's a good time.
Here, let me pass you a snake.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm trying. So
Cut that out.
no. Listen, no, about snake handling. I want to learn everything. And I'm trying to get a hold of a snake handling preacher. So if you're listening by some chance to this random Creepalachia episode and you want to be on, message me. But you know, I love learning stuff like that. You know, the only thing we won't have on here are bigots and, you know, racists and things like that. But I don't correlate the two. I just
Right.
correlate that as like
It's
a religion.
Yes, and it's an unusual practice that's not like super widely accepted, but you know, they are very strong in their faith.
I mean, yeah, dudes are dying over it.
Right.
There's one guy in McDowell who's like, he had a brother die, his dad died, everyone's getting bit, and I'm like, this is metal. I mean, this is faith squared. You know, and I don't like to judge things because for me, faith has never been like a light switch. It's never been like, okay, the light switch is on. Here's what your belief is. It's always been just
well, it's a personal journey.
exactly. Yeah. And I think if it's used for positivity, it's a beautiful one. You know, that
Right.
makes your life better and the life of others better. I think it's wonderful. But anyway, I love the tangents we're taking. So, yeah.
We're very good at going.
This is great. So after Coffield Manor, what's the plans for the rest of the year? Or do you go?
We have got Hinton, the festival in
No,
Hinton
it's in
on
September.
September.
Yeah.
We have got a location that I
In the
will
works,
not
we can't say.
disclose.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a big one. That's in the works for Halloween.
Ooh.
We are throwing around the idea right now. We, like I said, I met with Chris Friday and talked with him at Shawnee. We may be doing some stuff with them over the Halloween season as well. So as of right now, that's as far as we have gotten on the books. Honestly, we will probably look at if we do anything November, December, winter months, it'll probably be, it's definitely not going to be outdoor festivals or anything like that. It'll be a smaller scale, but we're kind of looking to it maybe stepping back a little bit during the holiday season and trying to pick back up, more toward the first of the year. We haven't.
I hate cold weather.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, that we rolled with it last year in November and December and January and February, and it was cold. The locations were cold. We had a few turnout, and we had a blast with them, and we enjoyed doing those hunts. But the weather is sketchy. We had to reschedule a couple of times on them because of snow, things like that. And it's kind of like one of those, maybe it would make more sense just to wait till the weather breaks a little, and pick back up in March.
And families are usually really busy around the holidays doing festive stuff. And,
Sure.
So we haven't gave that a lot of thought, but sometimes we don't, because we'll just get a call out of the blue and somebody will say, "Will you come and do this?" And we say, "Yeah."
Yeah, well, sure.
And so we go, but we're booked up until November at this point, and then
that's enough.
Yeah,
for now.
we may or may not. We may take a month or two break for the holidays, or we may keep rolling. It just depends on
the undisclosed location. How close is it relative to where we're setting?
Oh, pretty close.
Okay, got it. We won't say anything else. No one really. I mean, some people the show knows kind of the area where it is, but all right. Well, y'all, how many is on this team?
We're a really small team, actually, for what we do.
Right. We've got,
I think we got 13.
Yeah. There's you, me, Mark, Reed, that are kind of the founders, the original, the OG crew, if you will. We've got Jessica, her husband, Mike, and son, Ian, Teresa. We have William, Carl, Danae, Rebecca. Am I leaving anyone?
If you forget someone, don't take offense.
Yes,
Right.
please don't.
That's a lot of people.
I'm sure there's 13. Rachel.
Yes, Rachel. I
She's
forgot
one of
about
our
Miss
new
Rachel, and
members.
I
Yeah,
love
Rachel.
her. Yeah,
Love her to
she's
death.
newer, but she's
Can't forget
Rachel's
Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, cool.
We have no Ross, though.
No Ross. Oh, Friends reference. Yeah, I get it. Man, what a good show. All right. Well, y'all, how can someone get involved? What's the best way to sign up for these events? I know you mentioned you got like a ticket process.
Facebook
Yes,
page.
we do. We primarily advertise everything on Facebook. That's where the links to purchase tickets are. That's where we announce everything, first.
Mhm.
We do. I think we have an Instagram. I'm old. I don't know.
I
how to
don't know
use
Who runs the
Instagram.
social media?
That is
Mark
Mark's
does.
department.
Oh.
That is Mark's job.
Shout out, Mark.
Yeah. And
They're coming back in. Courtney doesn't do anything.
Courtney doesn't do anything with
Okay,
OTT.
she's all true crime. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now she's come with us a couple of times.
Mhm.
I mean, we love Courtney, but the paranormal's not her thing as much as the true crime.
Sure, that's fun.
We do some TikToks, a little on TikTok, but we don't have any ticket links, anything like that. All that's on our Facebook.
Cool.
Appalachian Ghost Tours.
Yep. Shout out Appalachian Ghost Tours. I love it. Are you a member of any other paranormal groups? Like I know a lot of these people are.
No.
Okay.
No, we don't.
We
have
are
time.
pretty busy.
Yeah, we don't have time.
We
Yeah.
are.
Well, and you got to think what's different with us. And like I said, we do occasionally, we'll just get our group together and go do something for us that's not, where we don't invite the public alone.
That's the blood
along,
oath
but-
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, and also at a lot of these locations we go and do a private before we do the public. So
Right,
we can
so
get a
we
gist of the
know-
place. Yeah.
Yeah, I know how to lay it out and stuff. But the difference between us and most of them is we are doing events. We're not just going on a ghost hunt. We're doing events. We're bringing the public in. We are, lining up meals. We are paying taxes. We are handling the business end of it. And we're doing it totally different. The whole purpose of it is the economic development and to be able to donate to these places and help
Preserving
them.
the history
Yes,
for me.
yeah,
I love helping
absolutely.
preserve the history.
Yeah, the Graham House was.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about the Graham.
Oh,
Oh, let's do it.
How do
We got time.
forget?
Okay.
Graham House. Where's
Forgot
it at?
all about the Graham
The Graham
House.
House is in Penn Springs.
Penn Springs?
Pence.
Pence Springs, the
Mhm.
Graham House. Also, I love when people whose accent energy matches mine.
Uh-huh.
So I'm so glad y'all are on here. The Graham House, Pence Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the oldest
There
log
it is.
cabin
Oh, yes,
in West
yes, yes.
Virginia. Yeah.
Yes, Teresa told me about this, but we want to hear it again. So I love multiple versions of stories. What about this place?
So with the Graham House, it is the oldest 2-story log cabin on the original foundation in West Virginia that's still standing. It was built in the 1700s. I'm thinking 1770s, maybe.
Wow. Now there's a
but-
replica, right? Is this a
The-
replica?
No, that's
now
the
that
original.
that is the original. The
Okay.
schoolhouse is a
The
replica,
replica.
and you can kind of see it back behind there. That's a barn there, and then the schoolhouse, you can see the side of it sticking out.
Oh, gotcha, right here.
there. Yeah, and it is a replica of the one-room schools that they would have had. Probably not in, well, I guess pioneer times,
Mhm.
but it's a little more updated maybe than Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah,
style,
a
but-
little bit nicer
um,
than that.
but there's honestly, that's a replica. That's you would think you would think there would have been nothing
Mhm.
in there. It's a replica that was built, just to go on the property as a museum of what the one-room school would have looked like.
Okay, let me find the
But-
schoolhouse. I want to see. We didn't look that up last time. Let's see, schoolhouse.
Right. We got more activity actually in
Yeah.
it than we did.
In the replica.
There it is.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, for the people, so you will know. All right, got it.
Yeah. So, when-
Saunders One Room School Museum.
Mhm. So when we did our private investigation, it got wild in there. Like
Syphilis. Okay.
not that kind of
Okay. Oh, sorry. Gotcha. That's a bad joke.
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
I'm sorry.
Hey, listen, but yeah,
A couple of members.
it was a little unnerving. I was doing an Esty session. I had the headphones on in the spirit box. I had Jessica and her husband and son with me. They were asking questions. I was giving the answers. They finally came over and just hit me and told me that I was pretty much in a trance, that I needed to come out of it. And I didn't really feel like I'd been in a trance, but I honestly really couldn't remember a whole lot of what came out of my mouth either over the last few minutes. And when I sit up and kind of opened my eyes, I kept noticing an orange glow outside. And then I noticed that it would pass by the window and then it would come through the other window. And I thought, something's out there circling us. Well, the guy that runs the Historic Society, the one that's over that had let us in, he told us, be very careful because there are drug dealers that live in the area. He said, I think they're all in jail right now, but, just be cautious because they'll break in and steal anything they can. So I'm thinking, well, maybe somebody's out there with a flashlight or something. I don't know. But the creepy, the I'm in danger feeling was growing. And I keep seeing this coming around. So we decided to open the door and walk out and look. There's nothing out there. There's no one out there. I have no idea what the orange glowing light that was circling us was. When we came back to the public investigation and went out there, we didn't have the orange glowing lights, but we did have very similar experiences with SDs that it got while you were in there for
Yes. Yeah. Remember the door opened by itself too.
Okay.
That door right there.
See,
swung
I
open.
did not because I had my eyes closed. When I do SDs, I'll press the headphones in tighter and
there
close
was
my
no
eyes
wind.
so I don't see.
It's a heavy door and it just creaked right open.
And to explain SDs for the little old ladies that are listening, that I love you dearly.
Mom, what you do?
Someone wears noise canceling headphones and you have a spirit box rolling, which a spirit box goes through white noise and radio frequencies to pull words out of the air, and someone else who's not wearing the headphones asks the questions.
Yes.
Right. And the person wearing them obviously can't hear the question. And that way, if you're getting intelligent responses through that spirit box that seem to be answering those questions, you can consider that solid evidence, because when I'm listening, I don't hear what she's asking. So I can't just fake an answer. I'm not hearing it. I have no idea what she said. And I'll close my eyes to that point too, so that I don't even try to lip read, because I don't want to subconsciously, think that I'm hearing something that's an answer. But Carl was what freaked me out about that. Listen, Carl Gerald has been a paranormal investigator for 30 years. This man's been around the block. He knows what he's doing. He has seen a thing or two. Carl, because, I came up for my SD session. I said, anybody else want to try? Carl said, okay, I'll throw them on. I'll try. Carl sits there for a little bit. He takes them off. He hands them back to me and he says, nope, that's it. And he turns around and he walks out of the schoolhouse. Yeah. No idea what happened.
Wow.
But
that's right. We never did find out what happened.
Yeah.
Carl.
Release
the info.
But, for him to get rattled, it was something big.
Yeah.
It was, because he's not.
Maybe it was like, hey, put Pam back on.
Right.
There's something like that. Probably something little.
New phone, who dis?
Yeah. New phone, who dis? Yeah. That's great. Yeah. So in the backstory of this place, why is this considered a haunted location? Teresa told the story, but tell me your version.
Well, you know how we talked about similarities between Pocahontas and the Mayberry Mansion with the triple homicides, and even the connection with the coal barons having the office there in Pocahontas, but they own the mansion in Mayberry and the mines in Mayberry. This one in Lake Shawnee.
Yeah,
let me tell you a little story. So there was a Shawnee Indian attack here. They killed one of the grandchildren. They killed a neighbor that was trying to shut the door to fend off the attack. When they got inside, and they didn't get inside the main cabin. They got inside the kitchen area. Mm-hmm. There were two of the grandchildren. Elizabeth was one, and I cannot remember the young man's name who was killed. And then I remember that there was the
enslaved child.
Yeah, the enslaved child was
his name's on there somewhere too.
And I'm thinking,
let me look it up. What would I Google so we'll get the names right? Graham House.
Yeah.
Massacre.
Yeah. West Virginia. Yeah. We'll see what we get.
Okay, so we got.
Yeah, that might.
Ooh, that's small. Let's turn this up a little bit. Let's see. All right. So we got Graham's son, John.
Yeah, John was the one that was killed.
Elizabeth.
Yes. Elizabeth was kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
And the enslaved child was killed, and one of the neighbors was killed as well.
Okay.
So here we are again, 3 children, 2 killed, 1 kidnapped.
Yeah.
By the Shawnee.
Mm-hmm. And I think these happened about, Shawnee was 1775. This one was about 8 years later, maybe.
Really?
Something like that. It was not that they weren't.
So Shawnee happened before the Declaration of Independence. Or when was that? 1776 was, I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to tell you. I will.
Well, and I could be wrong about it, but I swear I think it's in that area.
Mm-hmm.
It's in, I think it was 1700s. But
I think this happened even before. Like, when did George Washington become president? I'm pretty sure this happened even before.
Would have been 1776.
Yeah.
And he was president. Wasn't he president like 16 years? I'm sorry, history teachers. I'm sure you're screaming. But anyway.
I am not sure on that one.
Yeah.
Public schools failed me. Sorry.
I think I'm pretty close.
But interesting that it was the same. I mean, do you see the repetition?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
2 children killed, 1 kidnapped. Now, Colonel Graham did get Elizabeth back. It took years. I can't remember how many, but there was years of negotiation.
I think 8 years.
And he finally did get her back. And what I think one of the coolest parts of the story is he put the shoes on his horse on backwards as he was taking her away, so that if they tried to track, it would look like they were going the opposite direction.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pretty slick, really. I wouldn't have thought of that. But he did get Elizabeth brought back. Now, the story goes, and I don't know if it's true or not, but that by this point in time, Elizabeth, I think, may have been somewhere between 8 and 10 when she was taken. By the time that he got her back, she was, a young woman of marriageable age and was betrothed to one of the young men in the tribe. And she was in love with this man, and she wanted to stay there, and she wanted to marry him, and her dad brought her back. And it's my understanding that she was very unhappy about that and very dissatisfied that she was brought back here.
She had, it's a syndrome you get.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah, she, now I do think she eventually adjusted and was fine. But, in the beginning, the story is that she would try to run away to go back and things like that. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know. I've never seen anything super documented about it, but that is the story the locals tell.
I've saw Dances with Wolves.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a good movie. That's Civil War era, I think. But anyway, good movie. And nothing to do with any of that, but it has Kevin Costner's in it. Check it out. Well, awesome.
Well, and then there was the one with Patrick Swayze where he was with Kevin Costner. It was Dirty Dances with Wolves.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Pam got jokes.
See what I did there?
I love it. I love it. You don't put baby in a corner. Okay? You put her in a moccasin, and then, is that what it's called? I don't even know.
Ain't that shoes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think that's okay. Oh, well, I love it, y'all. Well, y'all, after you conjure the devil in Mullins, please come back. Tell me all about that experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to know what the protest posters read when you were there. No, I'm just kidding. There will be no protest. I'm sure Mullins got over it, and everyone's getting along. Big happy family,
and I don't know that it's necessarily the town of Mullins that was doing
a few people.
Yeah, maybe a few in Mullins, but what I was reading on Facebook, because I'm sitting there going, I'm Facebook friends with you. I went to high school with you. I know your mama.
Okay, yeah.
So a lot of them they're not even in Mullins.
Yeah,
they're
Pam
in
was
other places in the county.
Pam was like, yeah, I know Cindy Lou. She ain't no Christian, okay? I'm just going to tell you, she ain't practicing what she's Facebook posting right now. But yeah, well, I hope it all goes well. I hope everyone can figure it out, because everyone's here for one purpose, and that's to live happily.
Right. Exactly.
Live happily and try to try to see some spirits, make a few dollars, and pay some B&O tax
Right.
because no one else is going to. So there you go. What are you going to do? Put a Hardee's in there?
Well, I mean, they could.
You know?
But
Hey, funny thing about this Hardee's, we buried Grandpa Floyd 2 years ago. Like, no, that's not going to work. Of course, that's what it's going to be. What else is going to happen? All right. All right, y'all. Well, everyone, be sure to check out Appalachian Ghost Tours on Facebook, Instagram, you think? TikTok.
Yeah, I'm sure about the TikTok. I think we have an Instagram. That's a Mark question.
Hey, you know.
We know for sure we got a Facebook.
Let's see, we got this same pushback when we went to the Mountain Air in Mount Hope.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got a little pushback from the locals. We're witches. We're conjuring demons. We're
and Lake Shawnee burning down didn't help that.
Oh no.
My own sister's like, what did y'all do?
Yeah.
We didn't start the fire.
Nothing.
That's when you comment and say, could you watch it again and comment after? Okay, could you watch it again and tell me again what you're thinking? You know.
Right. Yeah. So but you know, I get it. There's definitely people out there that you'll have some backlash. But I think they'll overcome it. I mean, we met her, we sat down and talked with her at Shawnee and had her do a little presentation to some folks and you know that were interested and just seems like really good people and they're trying to do something good for the community.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it's great. And you know, if someone has heavy judgments about, you know, witches and devils and you know, hey, you do your thing. Like you said, don't have to go. Everyone just keep it civil and you know, talk, argue, debate, but no violence because that's never cool.
Right.
But anyway, all right, y'all. Be sure to check out Appalachian Ghost Tours. I appreciate y'all being here. Amazing stories. I will bring more Alani next time.
Absolutely.
when y'all come. And everyone else out there, before you leave this video, like and subscribe to Creepalachia. Like this video, comment below about your experience. If you have seen, you know, the devil or like thereof, or an angel, let me know. I want to know these things. I want to meet you. If you want to be on the show, reach out to creepalachia@gmail.com with your experience, and we will see if we can get you on. And find us on Facebook and TikTok. We have shirts now, creepalachia.shop. And that's about it. But above all else, everyone remember, long live Appalachia. Yeah.